So I am Mille Lundt and I was born in Copenhagen in Denmark, and I live abroad for 22 years and the last 15 years in Belgium. And I am educated as circus artist, circus practitioner, and then I kind of got into the dance field working with a dance choreographer, so I crossed circus and dance movement more and more, and also working with physical theater, and more getting into visual arts and working with the visual artist and musician always. So it's kind of broad, and it really depends on the collaborations that I work in. So I would place my work now as in performance art crossover. So now I am in Copenhagen and I am in a residency around the performative landscapes, and I am working as a physical performer around landscapes, in landscapes, with the focus on landscapes. So first we arrived here at Fælled, which is a place that I have been since the late 90s, and it's been developing the last, I don't know how many years, maybe 5-10 years, in a very high speed. I see art, I see food, I see so many activities, and the landscape is kind of trying to still exist in between all this. So it's this interference with the city that goes into the landscape that we also met. We were at Kalvebod, Fælled, where you go to this huge, beautiful place that has forest, that has tree, that has fields, that has water, but everything is human-made. And then I was talking more and more with people and discovered that almost all the landscapes, the forest, everything is human-made. So nature is not nature in the wild way. I mean, you have Tippen in Sydhavnen, where I grew up. That was an old dump, and where nature would come by itself. And I remember when I was small, I used to walk out there and create the path, where now the paths are created. So now you can go there on bike, like the paths are kind of lined up. And this is something I find in Copenhagen disappearing more and more, that everything is lined up. My project is called Structures. So it's around structures of how human bodies are structured, how landscapes are structured, how architecture is structured, and how these different entities can meet and can kind of fall into each other, or how they can stick out and become individual entities. Yeah, and also about the limit, like where is the limit in a natural landscape? When does it become something else? And how does the architecture come in and bring another dimension into this natural landscape? And the same with the humans, with the people. How do we have access to the landscape? Do we have access? How is the function of the landscape? Is it shaped by humans? Is it shaped by architecture? Yeah, so as I said, finding a landscape here in Copenhagen, it was difficult for me. In the end, I decided a landscape that actually just takes in the reality of Copenhagen, and that is that a lot of landscapes are disappearing. So my landscape is just here at Fælled, and it's one kind of hill that has been left to itself with the nature growing on it, and around is our buildings and a lot of activities and art houses. And yeah, so it's this, I would very much like to bring my visitors, or bring the awareness to go into the nature and to look at the surroundings, but from the nature, like from the eyes of the nature in a way. When I did the walk, it was daytime, and it was a lot of impressions all the time. I was having buildings, lights and sounds, and it was kind of hard for me to focus. So I decided to come back at another time, which then turned out to be quite late in the evening, and there was no light. And then I was focusing on the details the path in the nature, and my focus got then changed to the particularity of the site. So it was not like the whole site that was coming in on me, but really going into the details of the plans and the details of the lights of the buildings. And I think for me now, this time has been important to look into like, how do I integrate people in my work? How are they not only audience, but how do they become visitors of the place? How can I give the experience that I have when I visit a place to the people? So this is what I'm trying to do in my night walk, to put the focus on some things. And I think in the night also there is another imagination that I'm curious about, how I can curate this to other people. I mean, I think the meetings with the other artists has been very fruitful, because in a way we come from so different areas, but somehow we were connected through this focus of and interest in the landscape. So we had many interesting conversation about the actual landscapes, of course, here in Copenhagen, but also in other places, how they differ and how you work in a landscape. That was very rich to me. This, that when you walk into a landscape, it's not only that you leave a trace, but while you are in it, you also change the landscape. So there is this changing, this awareness that has been very rich to me. And this also of seeking witnesses upon the landscape, or from the landscapes, or from the environment, where you go and talk with people who know something about this place that you're going to work in. So it's not just your observation, but that you also get rich on other people's information or experience. Yeah, this has opened my mind in a way of working in a process towards a performance. For me as an artist, to be in a place 1 month has been a very rich experience. You have time to really get introduced to a place. You have time to settle down and to really like get below the layers. Often I've been in residence 1 or 2 weeks, and you kind of come with the things that you want to do, and that's what you're doing. Where here I kind of arrived and I was very open, because you have so much time. And that also led me in different directions. And I think this time has allowed me to explore more and to really get deeper layers of understanding Copenhagen as a city, with the functions of how you create landscapes even here. Yeah, so I'm very thankful to have this time here. It's been really fruitful.